Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Sachin, and I'm the founder and CEO of MintM INC. MintM is a point-of-purchase company. Let's start with the market. If you look at the advertising market today, it's about $540 billion, and it's growing every year. But if you look beyond that, only about 25% of it is actually spent on internet marketing. When I say internet marketing, if you look at this interesting breakup here, in 2012 and 2015, if you notice here, there are two very, very interesting trends. If you notice TV stays at about 40% even today as it was 3 years back. So how many of you actually change channels when there's a commercial coming on TV? Right? I was reading a report that said that about 86% of the people actually change the channel the moment there's a commercial on TV, and remaining 40% are probably not able to find the remote on time. So now let's look at the other interesting observation, and that is about the internet market that's growing from 18% to 24%, 25%, and it will continue to grow. And now if you look at that internet marketing, there are so many ad networks. Google is thriving on that. Facebook is there, social advertising, LinkedIn, everybody is there. Why? I mean, everybody's focusing at 25% marketing. It is growing, yeah, but everybody's focusing there. Now if you look beyond that, what about the remaining 35%? And why everybody's behind this 25%? That is primarily because this 25% brings three important things on the table. These are context, tracking, and analytics. When I say context, if you go on Google, for instance, if you're searching for, let's say a projector, you will see commercials that relate to projector. You will not see anything else. Something similar, right? Based on your history, your personal data, personalization, everywhere, that's the context. And then there's a model which is pay per click. So only when you click, you pay, and the advertiser will pay, otherwise there is no payment. And then based on this, they generate a lot of analytics, which location, what kind of people, clicking on what kind of commercial, which is getting better click rate, which is getting not so good click rate, right? What if we bring these three properties to the real world marketing? And that's what MintM does. So to start with, what we have done is we have built up a solution that's called Shelf. So we have tied up with a lot of retailers in India and US where we put this standard displays in the shelf area. So let's take an example that you go to a store and you go to a dental care section. And that's where, let's say, you're in that section primarily because you want to buy a dental care product. It can be a toothpaste, it can be a toothbrush, it could be a dental floss, or something like that. At that point of time, if I show you a commercial, it is a contextual commercial, and you will very likely be, you might get influenced by that. And as per our data, about 70% people actually do impulsive shopping in store. So that's the context part to it. If you look at more beyond, we have built for the first time, we have built a technology by which we ask advertisers like pay per click in online world, we ask them to pay per view in real world, a real view. When the human really watches your commercial, only then you pay, otherwise you don't pay for that. Right, so that's the tracking part. And based on this, since we are doing this with standard hardware, we are able to generate a lot of data which is similar to what is there for the online marketing. We know at what place, which store, which aisle, what kind of a person watched what kind of commercial for what kind of duration. It was a male or a female, what's the rough age group. We get to know a lot of data about that. So in some sense, it's a big data problem at the back end, but at the front end, so I'll talk about technology a little bit. At the front end, if you look here, we basically are doing a real-time processing. We are, it's a visual processing where we process the human face in front of us, and we detect and pass the data back to the cloud, and then cloud generates a lot of analytics. With this capability, we are able to do a lot of additional interesting things. For example, if you look at all the Amazons and Flipkarts of the day-to-day, they are able to do dynamic pricing on the fly. In the real world, with this technology, we can do that as well. So here's some of our customers. We have started our operations about 7 months back. These are some of the customers we have got into. And here's some of our partners from Tesco to Spar to Hypercities of the world. They have become our partners already. We're working with them very closely on a day-to-day basis. Our business model is not new. It is very similar to Ad Exchange and Ad Network, a combination of both basically, where we get advertisers and the publishers on board together. This is the marketing overview of US and India. That's where we are focusing on. That itself is about $170 billion plus $7 billion. And that's what, in this also we are focusing on more on FMCG. So that's about 25 to 30% of the marketing spend. There's some of the competitor companies. I'll skip that. It's about me, Sachin Garg, and I'm from an IIT, and I've worked with companies like Intel, Motorola. I have a few patents on my name, including one of them from MintM. And then we have a couple of other guys. Vibhor, he's also an IIT, and he's also ISP Hyderabad guy. He loves marketing. And then Ashutosh, he's IIT Kharagpur, and he's into business development and sales. There are some of our advisors. Mr. Sridhar Iyengar, I think he doesn't need an introduction. He's very popular. Everybody in TiE knows him. Dr. Ron Kivets at Columbia University. And then we have Mr. Gary Devner, who is our angel investor and advisor. And that's about it. That's it. Thank you.